This time I would like to call this meeting to order. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Maine Township's 173rd Annual Town Meeting. At this time, I would like to call Park Ridge Boy Scout Troop 76 to present the colors and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Everyone please stand.
Color guard attention. Color guard, forward march. Color guard halt. Please post the colors. Colors. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Color guard, return to ranks. Color guard, about face. Color guard, forward march. Color guard, dismiss.
Thank you very much, Boy Scouts. We always appreciate you coming and helping us out with the annual town meeting. Thank you. Okay, the purpose of this meeting is to inform the electorate of our township's financial status and to act upon certain resolutions to be presented at this meeting. But first, I'd like to introduce my most efficient staff, my deputy clerks, Jessica Guzman. Are you Jessica? Oh, she's out there in the hallway. As well as Kat Ryder, who's still out there signing everybody in, and my chief deputy clerk, Eva Magnowski. These employees are the ones responsible for making my office operate so smoothly on a day-to-day basis. My staff strives to provide exceptional customer service to everyone in our township, and they make sure that the residents are our #1 priority. At the clerk's office, we assist in a variety of services such as passport applications, voter registration, temporary handicap placards, reduced or free bus passes, fishing and hunting licenses, and basic notary services. Last year, we added a successful new service, which is the sale of license plate renewal stickers. I'm proud to announce that we had a great 2023 and 2024 fiscal year. My office processed 1,864 passport applications, which generated $48,779.60 in revenue. And we sold 213 license plate renewal stickers, which generated an additional $1,067.90. On August 1st, we had our National Night Out Against Crime event in Deep Park. As always, it was a very successful and well-attended event with a lot of fun activities and great prizes. I would like to invite everyone to attend this year's National Night Out, which will be held on Thursday, August 6, 2024, again at Deep Park. Finally, the clerk's office provides both Polish and Spanish translation assistance to our residents, again proving how hard my staff works on a daily basis, and I thank all of you. Now I would like to introduce your elected officials, starting with our trustees. We have the Honorable Kim Jones. The Honorable Kelly Horvath. The Honorable James Maher. And who could not be with us tonight because he is attending Ramadan back in Pakistan is our other trustee, the Honorable Asif Malik. Our Highway Commissioner, the Honorable Ed Boubet. And our assessor, Susan Moreland Craig, who also couldn't be with us tonight, but sends her warm regards. Certainly last but not least, our supervisor, Karen Knight. So our first order of business is to select a moderator. I recognize the Honorable Trustee Kimberly Jones for the purpose of making a nomination.
I'm nominating the Honorable Denise Gialamas to serve as moderator of this meeting.
Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Motion to close the nominations. Have a motion to close. Is there a second? And a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor, raise your cards. Okay. The motion passes. Would Denise, you please step up to be sworn in? Raise your right hand. I, Denise Popiano Gilas, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of moderator at this town meeting, so help me God. All right. You're in.
We're going to appoint the parliamentarian. Would Maine Township trustee James Maher please step forward?
Please have a seat. Sure. Thank you.
Clerk Gialamas, can you please present the minutes of the 2023 annual town meeting?
The 2023 annual town meeting minutes have been distributed prior to the meeting. I would ask for a reading of the minutes to be waived and the minutes be approved as submitted.
Can I have a motion to approve the 2023 annual town meeting minutes?
We have a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Are there any additions or corrections? Vote by show of cards. Motion passed. Were any special board meetings held during the last year?
In the last year, there were not any special meetings held.
Clerk Peter Gialamas, were the annual financial reports for the General Town Fund, General Assistance Fund, and Road and Bridge Fund distributed prior to the annual town meeting?
Yes, the annual financial reports were distributed before the annual town meeting.
Supervisor Karen Diamond, can you please give the annual report and introduce the township staff?
Yes, thank you, Byron. So, good evening all. Is this too loud? This is okay. All right, so it's really loud today. Anyway, welcome. I'm really glad to see everyone here tonight. And I did really want to talk about some of the things we've done during the past year and introduce everyone. So I'll get started. So, good evening and welcome to the annual meeting. I'd like to discuss some of our accomplishments from the past year, but I also want to talk briefly. I want to touch upon the future of townships in general, and I will take that second topic first. Last week I received an email from the township officials of Illinois that alerted me to the fact that there's a proposed law, House Bill 5050, along with Amendment 1 to it, that would require that after decennial reports are filed, and they will be filed by the end of the year, the county must prepare a report to the General Assembly that includes a plan to reduce the number of government units within a county by 10 to 20%. So we know that kind of provision is directed at government bodies that are small, like ours, like townships. Further, the amendment to it states that it provides that the county board, without any input from voters or local officials, may issue an order dissolving a road district. So I think this is, was certainly a surprise to me. I didn't see this coming, but in a way, perhaps I shouldn't have been surprised. We all know that over the years, there have been various attempts to reduce the number of Illinois government bodies, and often they're targeted at small bodies that are like ours. But I think our small bodies of government really serve the people so well. We're the ones that really see people in our offices, that help them in person, that answer the phone, that provide personal service to them in a way that larger government bodies do not. And I think the impetus for this move to eliminate some smaller government bodies is under the theory that the Money can be saved by doing that, and I think that's sometimes referred to as a bigger is better theory. But recently, the township officials of Illinois released a report entitled Local Government in Illinois, a comparison of township government. And if anybody's interested in copies of this, my assistant Jenny will have some, and you can get them from her. And I think it's worth a read. It tells you through a lot of pie charts and graphs that you don't really save money, that taxpayers don't really save money when small government bodies are eliminated. And that there's this assumption that without any additional cost, larger government bodies will perform all those services at little or no extra expense. And that, I just don't see that happening. I myself worked for Cook County for 30 years, and I can tell you that if all of a sudden Maine Township were eliminated, Cook County would not be absorbing all those functions, and it certainly would not be providing the type of services, the personal services, the attention that our residents get from Maine Township. So again, I am very happy and proud to be here as a supervisor of Maine Township, and I hope Maine Township goes on to celebrate or observe many, many more annual meetings well into the future as it has in the past. So I do want to turn to our accomplishments or our events from the past year. And you know, I'm going to talk about the individual departments, but first of all, I want to talk about some of the things that the township offered to everyone in the township, not just to a limited demographic, but to pretty much everyone. And those include events to help improve the health and welfare of our residents, such as our multiple immunization events, including vaccinations for pets, the One Pill Can Kill event that had a large crowd, the turkey giveaways. These were all open to all residents. We provided legal assistance through the North Suburban Legal Aid Clinic that had clinics here and also provided a program called Renters' Rights. Improving computer literacy is something we're able to do through the help of the Niles Public Library. They held 2 programs here, digital navigation and demystifying AI. Recycling is a big thing for us here, and we really do help our residents recycle goods they don't need and prevent them from going into landfills. We have our holiday lights recycling, paper shredding, electronics recycling, dumpster day, and the garbage sale. The garage sale, sorry. I'm so sorry. I meant the garage sale. And I don't mean to, I say this with a great deal of respect, because what happens at the garage sale is one person's potential trash becomes another person's treasure. And you know, it really helps them find a new home through the garage sale. And we make some money off of it too. So I'm going to mention that again later. And also I think the township just provides a lot of fun for our residents. We march in the parades, and we staff the beer tent at Taste of Park Ridge, National Night Out, the International Festival. All these were fun events open to everyone. But all of our specific departments serve specific groups of people too, and serve them very well. Or people who have certain problems. Like for instance, the Maine Township's Assessor's Office run by Susan Boyle and Cry. And Liz Coy is the, here I see Liz. Will you stand up, Liz? And can I ask you to introduce your staff members who are here today. Liz is the head of this department and reports directly to Susan. She has a fairly large staff here. So would you introduce your staff members, please?
Yes, thank you. Right here I have Ferris DeBonnet and Deborah Babbage. Dee Phillips could not join us today, and Rich was also not able to join us today.
Okay, all right. Anyway, thank you very much. The demand for their services continues to grow every year. The residents place a lot of trust and confidence in them. They know they will be helped by their staff. They work tirelessly to ensure that every resident gets all the exemptions that they're entitled to, that their appeal is processed properly and promptly. They assisted over just about 17,000 residents this year, with an increase of about 36% over the prior year. So that's appeals, permits, all types of things that they have to process in their office. They have huge swings in their workload where they're working very long hours because their workload is to a certain extent dictated by the county and when certain reports and appeals have to be in. So they do a great job, and thank you all. Moving on to our mainstreamers, Marie Dagnuski, where are you, Marie? Marie, would you introduce your staff, please?
So tonight I have Teresa Tully here, who's the Assistant Director, and to my right, Monica Yavashavich. And we have one more staff member who could not be here. Her name is Oksana Mukacha.
Okay, all right. And thank you so much. You do a great job. So they continue providing township residents with innovative recreational and social programs for seniors 55 and age and older. 750 households receive the Mainstreamers newsletter, and Mainstreamers welcome 202 new members this past year. So they host day trips, theater outings, boat trips, historical tours. This year, one thing I think that was unique was the farm-to-table experience. I hope you do that again. I missed it this past year. I've complained about that a couple times. But anyway, a visit to the Reindeer Ranch seemed fun, and the Chicago Blackhawks game. There's luncheons, bingo. The 90-year-plus luncheon is back, and we're very happy about that. Throughout the summer months, of course, they use the parking lot for concerts. And one of the things, also they used it for the Mexican Fiesta, which was very popular and very fun event too. And afternoon tea at the Park Ridge Country Club was also quite fun. So, but this year one has brought one of the biggest changes to Mainstreamers, and that is they are now online. They are online. You can register online. You can use a credit card. And I want to thank Ridgeline and Marie for working very hard on setting up that system, letting us jump into the 21st century and actually allow people to purchase trips using their credit card, to get refunds, to do everything that they need to do online. So thank you for making that change. I know the change was difficult, but I think going forward it's going to be better for you and our residents. So thank you. All right, now I'd like to move to Mainstay. Richard Ryan, who is operating the camera back there. If you can, take a pause and introduce your staff members, I'd appreciate it.
Certainly, thank you. Over here, we'll start with Ariel Kavalich, our Assistant Director. Next to her is Emily Toomey, our Youth Program Coordinator. And then our two family therapists, Erin Callahan and Summer Zumrock.
All right, thank you. So Mainstay continues its commitment to break down barriers to financial and otherwise for residents who seek mental health treatment. And one way they've done that, of course their counseling is very affordable, but also we provide counseling not just in this building anymore, but some of our therapists go out to the schools to kids who probably would not receive the therapy if they had to travel here to this building to get it. So now our therapists go out. We've expanded to Apollo School, Washington School, Melzer, and Maine West. So I'm really glad that they're doing that, bringing the care and the treatment to the kids where they are at. Mainstay too upgraded and it integrated its payments system for therapy clients and has a new modern online registration and payment process. So I think that's benefiting them too. And I don't want to neglect the youth prevention programs too. Quite a few programs, tutoring, Kids Fest, youth anger management, self-esteem building. A new thing this year was the Trick or Trunk. Jenny, my assistant, also worked on that too. And this past year, Emily Toomey was awarded the ADCOI Staff Award at the Toy Conference. We were very proud. All the board members were there, and we were very happy to see someone from our township win an award. So thank you very much. And with in particular, Rich, I want to thank you for not only leading the department, but filming all the board meetings and helping to redesign our webpage or the main contact with the designer. Now working on, of course, Civic Plus, getting everyone online. I think that's pretty much wrapped up. But now cybersecurity. It sounds like something you're going to be working on next. So that's great. All right, next on to Recovery Connection. Is Marty Cook here by any chance? I can't see everyone, but I don't think I see Marty right now. So I think many of you know Marty. He's a one-person department. Its ultimate goal is to connect young people who want to stay clean and sober with each other. And they do that through community resources, social events, network of peers who support each other, and they have their Friday night meetings. And I also want to mention Lynn Johnson. She is our grant writer, and she's been working to try to get those funds that we were promised earlier from the state of Illinois, but they have to come through the Illinois Department of Human Services, and it turns out there's a lot of paperwork that has to be done to get those funds released. So she is helping to do that. So I'll move on to the food pantry. Is Nick here? I don't know if Nick is here this evening. Well, all right, I will say a few things about the food pantry because they've had really a great year. Before I became a supervisor at Maine Township, I volunteered for the Greater Chicago Food Depository at its warehouse on the south side, where it collects donations from stores and restaurants, of course, across the county, and then redistributes them to local food pantries. So food pantries are something I've been interested in a long time. And when I first arrived here as supervisor, the pantry was a relatively modest pantry. It had mostly canned goods and packages of mac and cheese, so it was certainly serving the public. But during the past couple of years, it's really leaped into the future. It's really leaped into another league. Last year, the year before last, we made a lot of physical improvements to it. But this year, we have partnered with the Greater Chicago Food Depository. The first thing we had to do was create a 501c3, and I want to thank Pete and our assessor Susan, who volunteered to serve as officers on the 501c3 organization that we created. And we've been up and going now. Nick, along with his staff, makes orders every week, and we're getting in large pallets of fresh vegetables, meat, fish, eggs, cheese, and whatever else Nick is able to offer. The pantry, just during the past 5 months, has received over 36,000 pounds of free food from the Greater Chicago Food Depository. So we're very pleased to be able to distribute that. He has 7 volunteers who together put in about 50 hours of volunteer time every week, unloading those packets, putting them on the shelves, helping the patrons and so forth. All right, moving on to general assistance. Kathy, I see you back there. Would you introduce your staff members?
To my left, I have my assistant director, Luz Meneses. Next to her is Stephanie Janis, our office manager. And to my right is our newest member of our department, Tricia Mullen. She's our new senior and disability advocate.
Thank you. So as Kathy mentioned, she has actually 2 new employees, Tricia and Stephanie. You're new too, fairly new here, so we're thrilled to have you both. They're both been very, very helpful to our clients, and we're delighted to have you now. So general assistance does a lot of things other than just provide general assistance. They help people who come here apply for a lot of different benefits. CETA and LIHEAP help with utilities, benefit access, discounts on license plates, RTA free rides, mainline cab fares, a lot of different programs, and general help with public aid. So they really, sort of know the whole gambit of what people who are really low income or no income need to know, what they need to improve their lives and get the type of income that they need. And soon, Tricia, our new employee, will start training to be a SHIP counselor. And we're looking forward to that. And what that means is we will have a certified SHIP counselor. They're people who serve not only people who are indigent, but anyone who's applying for Medicare. And they will help you navigate that process, which is, if you're a young person, it's more complicated than you might think to actually figure out what to apply for and how to apply for it. So anyway, we're thrilled to have you all. Thank you very much. Okay, maintenance, Mike. All right, Mike Salmon is here. Mike, are any of your staff members here?
Just Rob at the front as a building monitor.
Okay, everyone got to see Rob as they came in, and I presume you'll say hi on your way out too. So this past year, the maintenance department. The past year, the maintenance department repaired leaky skylights, patched the roof to prevent further leaking over GA, painted the GA hallway as well as some of their offices. They planted 6 trees and maintained the garden. So they're really doing a lot in and around the building, in addition to the usual daily maintenance of preparing the building for each day, cleaning, stocking it, setting up events, doing pickups for the food pantry, always on hand to open and close the buildings at the beginning of the day, the end of the day, evenings, weekends, they're there. Someone on the staff is always here, and I don't know what we'd do without them. In the coming year, Mike would like to seal and restripe the parking lot. It'll all be inconvenient for us, but it'll be great when it's done, I'm sure. And replace the roof over general assistance. That's going to be a big project. So we're looking forward to all of that getting done. All right. Then we have a couple of small departments I'll mention. Nader, is Nader here? Nader Gazali? Okay, I don't see Nader, but Nader, as many of you know, he's our code enforcement officer, and he serves the residents of the unincorporated area of Maine Township. He patrols the area to look for property or vehicle violations, which may result in ticketing or towing. This year he wrote 288 tickets, generating revenue of about $6,000. He does a lot of things. One of the sort of unusual things he had to do this year, at my request, is attend Zoom court hearings regarding the Knoll Avenue fire. So that's something that he took on and did for us. The Office for Emergency Management, we have a new emergency management director, Jack Wisniewski. I think most of you or many of you met him at our last board meeting. He joined our staff and established or reestablished contacts with the fire department, police department, OEM of Cook County. Working relationship with American Red Cross and Salvation Army is something he's working on. And he's working on recruiting new OEM volunteers. I went to one of his meetings with his volunteers. They did a great job, PowerPoint program, and gave everyone a tour. So I think he's very enthusiastic about that. So again, we'll have to, I hope you all get a chance to see Jack and welcome him. And so last but not least is our administrative staff that doesn't usually, they do somewhat, but doesn't usually serve the public directly, but they support our whole building and they make everything run. So I'd like to start out by having Dana Berman, who is my administrator, introduce all of her staff members, or she may introduce people who introduce other people. So if you would, please.
First, I'd like to introduce Vicki Rizzo. She is our deputy administrator, and she's responsible for procurement for all township supplies. She assists in our bookkeeping and accounting department, specifically accounts payable and receivable. She's responsible for all our township equipment, which is very important, and she spearheads our annual audit. Thank you, Vicki. She's very, very big asset to our accounting department. Then we have Ruba Almayed. She is our HR generalist, and she is responsible for new employee onboarding and orientation, tracking and administering all employee benefits, payroll, complying and keeping up with local, state, and federal laws, and conducting background checks, and much, much more. And I'm going to Vicki do some introductories as well.
All right, so I'm not sure if we have Paula here. I don't think so. But as Karen mentioned, we are very proud that when people call our township, they don't reach an automated system. They are greeted by a friendly voice to direct them. And one of those wonderful friendly voices is Jenny Raffi. She greets our front desk. She assists residents getting where they need to go, and along with Paula, and also helps support that large crowd we get for the food pantry, making sure that they get where they need to go in an orderly fashion. So we really appreciate all their hard work at our front desk. Also, we have Isabella DeBochek. I think I said that right. She is our financial assistant. She supports, yes, she supports all of our bookkeeping. She is responsible exclusively for our general assistance bookkeeping, and just in general, has just been a wonderful asset to the township this year. And I couldn't work without her, so I appreciate you and everybody on our team. I think we've got a great admin team, so thanks.
So I should also mention that Jenny works part-time, sitting at the front desk, but she also works part-time in the mornings as my assistant. And what she does is prepare a lot of thank you notes for me, and in different ways gets out the word about Maine Township, makes flyers, helps to arrange miscellaneous events, and just does all kinds of things that just need to be done. So she splits her time between those two different jobs. And during the past year, I've tried to get out to raise awareness of our services by attending Niles Chamber events. I've noticed a few board members there recently too, that's great. Staffing a table at the Park Ridge Farmers Market, I'll do that again. Golf Mill Holiday event. I've gone to District 63 strategic planning sessions, tried to show off our building during the landmark tours, and spoke to fourth graders at the Des Plaines City Hall about township government and how important it is. So that's one little group of people who know about township government now. So anyway, I do want to ask Ed Bouvet to come up here now so that he can introduce some of his staff members who are joining us tonight. So Ed, do you want to come on up? and then I'll finish up with something.
Sure. Thank you, Supervisor. So last but not least, I just wanted to say thank you to my staff. As amazing as all of the township employees are, I'm partial to you guys, and I feel that you guys are the best, and you do an amazing job with keeping the roads wide open and keeping people going. So I'll start in no particular order with our administrative assistant, Marissa Vigna, our foreman, Rich Brandis, our newest member, Tyler Woods, our honorary member, Mike Saman, Peter Jimenez, our administrator, Dawn Heyman, and Justin McIntyre, who could not be here. So, thank you.
I'm asking you to wait here for a minute, but I did want to say on behalf of the Board of Trustees that we all appreciate the staff so much and their work, and we try to show our thankfulness. We tried to give good raises this year. I hope you enjoyed them. We do other things, such as we adapted our part-time employees' paid leave pursuant to the Paid Leave Act, but we made it actually more generous than the act required. We adopted tuition benefits for all employees. We reduced the number of hours of leave that an employee may take to just 2-hour increments, making it a little easier for people not to take quite as much time if they don't need to. And of course, we enjoyed inviting everyone to the summer cookout and winter holiday parties as usual. So we, the board, all hope to continue to enjoy your company and benefit from all the work you do going forward. But we did want to, in particular tonight, celebrate those employees who have hung in with us for a very long time and are still working with us. And in particular, we want to recognize those employees who have reached some significant work anniversary. And without your institutional knowledge and hard work, I'm just not sure how we get by. But in any event, I'm going to turn it over to Ed to give out one of those.
Sure, absolutely. So this one is easy. So Dawn, when I came on a couple of years ago, your knowledge and expertise really made me feel a lot more comfortable and get acclimated to the job. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. You keep the office going, and I know sometimes it's not easy every day dealing with some of the residents who aren't happy. But you do a great job, and we're lucky to have you. So I'd just like to say congratulations on 15 years. That's something that you should be very proud of. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, so we have a tie for the next category, and that is 20 years of service, 20 years of service. And I want to call up Mike and Vicki to... All right, I just want to say that, I think Mike and Vicki being here 20 years each, two decades, and how much time you put in, how much you know. I sort of think of you as sort of these twin pillars in the sense that, not pillars, but well, sort of like those, in the sense that if anything goes wrong with the physical building, I call Mike. I know anything from the roof leaking, to the walls needing painting, to the floor needing to be cleaned, or the pavers patted down, or the pipes underneath clogging up. All these things can be fixed by Mike. So if there's anything physically wrong with a building, Mike's personal comment, I know he'll fix it, or he'll find someone who will, and everything will be well. So it's just fine. Vicki, on the other hand, if anything goes wrong with tech in the building, I call Vicki. My computer's not working, the phone's not working. She had to sit with me for a full hour the other day when I was trying to log into this computer program run by the federal government that issues grants. It's just a nightmare. But anyway.
I don't think we finished it either.
I don't think so. It was terrible. But anyway, Vicki will, take care of all those things along with the finances of the township, knows where the money goes, knows where it should be, is really on top of those types of things. And, together, because they've been here so long, they just know how to do everything. So anyway, thank you very much. And Mike?
Thank you.
And Vicki? Thank you both so much.
You guys started here when you were 10 years old?
Okay, and we have one more, and that is Kathy Sabini. Kathy, come on up here. Kathy has been here 25 years, a quarter century here at Maine Township. And I just want to thank you so much. Give you a hug, Kathy. So Kathy is on top of general assistance, which is not hard, not easy at all. It's very hard, actually. So, as supervisor, I am supposed to be directly in charge of general assistance, and thank God I have Kathy, because it is very complicated and very hard to get on top of all the programs that they administer. And, I repeatedly have her come in my office and explain things to me and explain why things have to be done and what the rules are and so forth and so on. And I'm just delighted you're here on our staff. And I'm also delighted that you really, stepped into the role of being the head of the department this past year, too. So thank you, Kathy. And 25 more years, huh? All right, thank you, Ms. Moderator. I'll turn it back over to you.
Clerk Peter Gialamas, can you please present Sergeant Karen Lader Memorial Good Citizen Award?
My pleasure. Okay, I'm going to start this off, as I do every year, by giving a little bit of a background on Karen Lader and the award. Sergeant Lader was a veteran of the Cook County Sheriff's Police who lost her courageous battle with cancer back in 2010. Sergeant Lader was the township's community liaison officer from the Cook County Sheriff's Department. She was deeply involved in the Maine Township community, especially the neighborhood watch program, our National Night Out Against Crime event, Special Olympics, and a passion of hers was animal rescue. She was also a resident of Maine Township and dedicated to making the community a better place. I'm proud to have known her and called her a friend. This year's recipient of the Sergeant Karen Lader Good Citizen Award is none other than Park Ridge's own Amy Bartucci. Amy was nominated by Park Ridge resident Patricia Lofthouse, and this is what Patricia had to say about Amy. Amy Bartucci does not just talk the talk, she walks the walk, as she practices what she preaches. She is a perfect example of a model citizen, and Maine Township is very fortunate to have her as one of its residents. Through her volunteer work, every day of Amy Bartucci's life is a dedication to environmental activism that is helping to preserve and improve our community. Amy Bartucci is a wife and mother of 4 in Park Ridge who voluntarily dedicates her life to making our environment cleaner, healthier, and more sustainable. Amy founded Go Green Park Ridge in 2012 and Green Drinks Park Ridge, which meets monthly to discuss ways we can all implement green practices in our lives, homes, and yards. This group has successfully persuaded the Park Ridge Park Districts to stop the use of pesticides in the parks and on school grounds. She is a member of the Coalition for Plastic Reduction to fight plastic pollution and the resulting toxins, and is an active member in SLURP, which I had to look up, which stands for Straws Literally Upon Request Policy, that encourages local businesses and individuals in Maine Township to replace plastic straws with recyclable or permanent ones. Amy is now finding ways to reduce the use and production of polystyrene, aka styrofoam, which is a petroleum-based plastic, 75% of which is non-biodegradable and emits toxins into our landfills. Amy has partnered with our local high schools to coalesce recycling teams and has organized yearly cleanup days in the surrounding forest preserves. For 4 years, she has made Park Ridge the location of the One Earth Film Festival that showcases documentaries featuring people and programs that are working to save the environment. She picks up and delivers donations of fresh fruits and vegetables to locations in the Love Fridge food pantries in the food deserts of the Chicagoland area. Amy serves on the board of the Illinois Stewardship Alliance, Local Food Matters, that supports pure pesticide-free farm-to-table foods. She is the administrative coordinator for the Illinois Food Scrap Coalition to compost and reduce food waste from local businesses and individuals. She is part of the Chicago Metro chapter of the Climate Reality Project to fight climate change. That's a lot. And it's for all these many reasons that it is my distinct pleasure to provide Amy Bartucci with the 2024 Sergeant Care Leader Good Citizen Award. This is the, 11th year that we've had it, so we ran out of plaque space, so we had to get a new plaque. I'm going to give one to each of you guys for the picture here. You mind stepping in for a picture?
Can you stand in the middle? Can you stand in the middle? I'll forget to stand. This is strange. It's strange.
Say a few words if you'd like.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Wow. I didn't know there was that much written. I almost have nothing to say. Pat, thank you so much for the nomination. It was very unexpected. I think I told you, there's absolutely no reason for me to do the work to be acknowledged. It's part of who I am. I was born this way, and sometimes in meetings and some of the civic opportunities I've had, people have said, how do you keep doing that? And I just say, I was born this way. I wrote 4 words on my fingers, which I've never done before when I need to remember what I want to say. But I didn't want to go off topic too much because I know it's a long meeting. I can talk a lot. The first thing I wanted to say is I think it's pretty symbolic to know that this award is based from a memorial of somebody who died around 12 years ago. From what I was looking at, was it we moved to Park Ridge about 12 years ago. So I'm thinking that there's something telling me here about this award, and I wanted to make sure I said thank you to the opportunity here with everybody in this room. It feels like a family here. I feel very, very blessed to be a part of this meeting this evening. So thank you so much for having me and for this award. The second word I wrote on my finger is unearthed. It's not going off too much topic from what Pat wrote and what I know that those around me are thinking. But when we moved to Park Ridge, I realized the environment was speaking to me that I needed to be more involved. But I had to unearth friends. I had to unearth people. I had to unearth allies. I had to unearth all the things that I was thinking that I needed to do needed more collective power. So I did some door knocking. I wrote some emails. I made some phone calls and made new friends. We were working in the parks, in the schools, municipal, work that we needed to be addressing from our leaders, churches, and, fellow neighbors to talk about, what it was that I felt we needed to put a little bit more of a spotlight on the environment. So unearthing folks really led to being a founder of the organization Go Green Park Ridge. I was happy to do it, and it was really interesting because, again, people would look at me and say, how do you do this? And I would just say, something's telling me to organize and facilitate conversations that aren't happening here. So that's the seeds that were planted 12 years ago. I'm blessed to know that the work is still being done by a leadership team. I realized I was growing beyond Park Ridge to see where that work was leading me. So I've done some statewide advocacy and organizing, and thanks to Pat also being a part of that group, the membership is carrying a lot of the seeds that were planted when I started Go Green Park Ridge. So my third word on my finger is food. So I'm so happy to have heard about the pantry and the evolutions, because the food system has been where I've been putting most of my work. The work and the volunteerism that I have in front of me all day, every day. My husband can say I'm constantly thinking about this. But the food system, to me, has become the centering conversation to have with people about the environment and our health and communities. So working on the soil health and working on bringing food system awareness, and then also understanding access to food has been really fueling for me to keep that as a centering point for the way we are also treating our environment. I told myself earlier I was going to give examples, because the volunteerism thing is the part that I realize is the core of this award. So when it comes to soil health, some of the volunteer things I do are lead sustainable tours, like in my yard. We bring people in to show them how we're composting. We bring people in to show them how our grass doesn't have pesticides. We talk about the food we're raising in our own raised beds. Talking about how this can happen if people have the space. I'm so happy to know there's community gardens for people who can share that space, but understanding, like, bringing the local side of our food system right outside our windows as much as possible is super important, and also, a basis of our health to understand the soil that we're growing food in. In addition to the food system work, it was mentioned about the community fridges. We didn't have that access here at the time when the pandemic came. There wasn't as much of the freedom or flexibility to have fresh items available to people. So I found it in the Chicagoland area, in Evanston. Community fridges were being sponsored by businesses and partners to say, let's have a fridge that's available 24/7 and make sure there's food accessible to people who are food insecure. I was like, this is a great idea. We're all stuck and we can't be together, but we can run a collection and we can fill a fridge and we can help our communities who are struggling. So Park Ridge heard from me. I would send out emails. I would let people know, is there anyone who wants to get some food over here to my porch, where my family then will drive and drop it off in communities of need. So we did that a lot, and it was really a good experience. Wish it didn't have to happen, but I've seen a lot of growth in the community fridge, the fridges that we see in Evanston and the Chicagoland area. So I hope fridges show up closer, because I think it's also a nice thing to have that 24/7 access for people who want to have a little bit of anonymity or freedom to shop when they can or when they need to. So the third thing about the food system is probably the last thing before I close is the plastics. I'm just really glad that it was mentioned, but it is also a very hard topic to bring because people have that convenience factor of how plastics have really entered into our life. So I wanted to laugh a little bit about Slurp, but it was the first thing that was addressed several years ago when we started to spotlight that idea about straws. I don't know if it's being worked on all that much anymore, but we did have a brand and we did make up the straws literally upon request policy. Just thinking for everyone here to be a little bit more mindful about takeout or reusing containers, and being able to do that is basically the same thing on a on the level of the straw. So we had fun with it when we created the slur policy, and now it's more about really just being mindful about opportunities for alternatives to keep our landfills at least at ease with all the plastics we have sent. The last thing I just want to say, thank you so much, again, Pat and everybody here. But I think another bit of symbolism that happened about this award at the time when I got the phone call was thinking about someone who had just passed away in the life of our family. And this woman had been somebody who had helped us while our kids were in school. And I remember thanking her profusely one day when I was so tired. And I was just feeling so worn out, but also so grateful. And I looked at this woman and I wrote a note to her family recently after attending her funeral, but also knowing that I was going to be here tonight with you. I said, and her name is Charlene Widmeyer from the Park Ridge area, where she was a teacher at St. Paul of the Cross. After she had helped us so much with a lot of our daughters' needs and academics at the school, I said, how will I ever repay you? How can I thank you for what you've done for our family? And I remember the day, and she just looked at me and she's like, there's nothing. I can't take anything, from you in thanks for what I've done for Elise. I just want to leave the world a better place than I found it. And I just remember those words saying, that's so meaningful, and it also is the way I feel. So again, this is an award I would dedicate to her. I wish she was here to be able to think of that, about that. Keep it going, paying it forward, being kind. So I really appreciate the acknowledgement about being a good neighbor, good citizen, and again, very unexpected. And thank you so much for the nomination, Pat, and at the same time to the township for keeping the plaque up to be able to have an opportunity to say good things about good citizens, because I think it really does help the neighborhood and the family feel of what you're creating here. So thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Supervisor Karen Diamond, can you please present resolutions for the approval of the electors?
Yes, Ms. Moderator. I have a resolution 2024-5, which states, it is hereby resolved and ordered by the electors present at the annual town meeting of Maine Township held this 9th day of April 2024 that the next Maine Township annual town meeting shall be held on Tuesday, April 8th of 2025 at 7 p.m. at the Maine Township Town Hall, 1700 Ballard Road, Park Ridge, Illinois.
Do we have a motion?
Yes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Vote by show of cards. Motion passed.
I have another resolution. The second resolution is, it is hereby resolved and ordained by the electors present at the annual town meeting of Maine Township held this 9th day of April 2024 that the moderator of this meeting be compensated for her services in the amount of $75.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
I would like the $75. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought someone said. Sorry.
Approval by.
Oh, I'm sorry. Vote by show of cards. Motion passed. I would like the $75 compensation to be donated to the Maine Township Food Pantry.
On behalf of the pantry, thank you very much.
The business of this meeting is now concluded. Are there any further comments?
I would just like to make a quick comment before, to thank my lovely wife for stepping in as moderator tonight. I had originally reached out to Trustee Malik to invite somebody from the Indian or Pakistani community to be moderator for the evening. I thought it would be a nice addition. He did give me somebody that had gracefully agreed, but kind of last minute we realized they didn't reside within the township boundaries, so then I'm like, uh-oh, we got to find somebody. And I'm like, guess what, honey, you're going to be moderator.
I also have one comment, if I may, before you adjourn, and that is that there's There's cake, cookies, and coffee downstairs. So we hope everyone here will adjourn to the lower level and have some treats before they leave for the evening.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
A second? Be Aaron adjourn? No? Well, you can go ahead and vote on it. Go ahead.
Vote to adjourn.
Okay.
All right. The motion passes.